Hello, and welcome to Candidates Up Front. This is the public interest election program of Berks Community Television and the League of Women Voters of Berks County. I'm Judith Cranus, a member of the League. Our November 5th general election is coming up, and we will be voting for both state officials and federal officials. The deadline to register is Monday, October 21st. The League is interviewing candidates in contested races, those who wanted to be interviewed. And for each race, the candidates will get the same basic questions and will have the same amount of time to answer them.
Hello, I'm Renee Dietrich, a member of the League of Women Voters. Two candidates are competing for the 124th Pennsylvania House District, Democrat Tina Burns and Republican Jamie Barton. The district is the northern corner of Berks County, including Lenhartsville, Hamburg, Kutztown, and Albany, Greenwich, Maxatawny, Tilden, Upper Bern, and Upper Weehawken, and Windsor Township. It also includes a part of Schuylkill County. State representatives serve a 2-year term in the legislature in Harrisburg. They initiate legislation and vote to create laws. They pass the budget, including taxes and expenditures of the state. They help constituents with issues regarding state government. The salary for a state representative is $106,422 per year plus benefits and expenses. Please note, the opinions expressed in this interview are those of the candidate, not the opinions of the League of Women Voters or Berks Community Television. This interview today is with Tina Burns. She's the challenger. Welcome, Tina.
Thank you for having me.
First question, tell viewers about yourself and why are you running for this office?
Sure. I'm one of us, one of the constituents. I'm a veteran, a parent, a grandparent, and a proud American. And I am running because I believe in our democracy, and I want a better future for my child and my grandchildren, just as everyone else out there. And the idea that we have more in common than we have don't have in common is what has driven me to want to do better and run for this office, because I believe my interest and my background is better suited to fight for the working people and the working class and those in the rural areas than my opponent.
Thank you. Now, if you are elected, what are the two most compelling issues you feel you can make a difference?
Again, for the people, not the large corporations. So what I would like to do is start taxing, and not that I'm anti-corporation, larger company. I want them to pay their fair share. And with those funds, we can then give back to the people. For example, the fossil fuel industry. Pennsylvania taxpayers give over $3 billion to the fossil fuel industry. I want that money brought back to the taxpayers. So definitely, from an economy standpoint, that is the number one issue. And then the second is from funds that we recapture, I want to give it back to services and education in our communities.
Okay. We're going to talk about Pennsylvania elections, and this is a 3-part question. Do you think Pennsylvania elections are fair?
Yes.
Okay. Would you support the results of the election as certified by the county election board?
Yes.
Would you support the certified results at all the levels of government?
Yes.
Okay. So I don't have to ask you if you'd support them at one or not the other. Now, both parties say they're pro-family, but that's very different for each party. What legislation do you think is pro-family?
To me, pro-family means allowing a family to be who they want to be. And that I have no right to define that for a particular family. That's the freedom of an individual family. As long as they're not, causing harm to anyone in the family or outside of the family, it is their choice to decide how their family should be, how their family should look, and how their internal family operates, whether that's their religious, non-religious, it's their choice. It's called freedom, and that goes back to your original question. I am fighting for freedom here. That is why I'm running.
Okay, now there are things one can do to support families, like parental leave, care for children after they're born. Are there any things there that you support?
Across the board, I'm for supporting our community, which includes our children. Yes to paid family leave. I actually happen to think it's a disgrace that we don't have that across the board in every state. And anything we can do to help foster our younger generation, we need to be doing that.
All right. Now, let's talk about housing. What specific ideas do you have to increase the supply and quality of affordable housing, or to preserve existing affordable housing?
Okay, so I'll answer that backwards. For existing housing, we have, for example, I live in Tamaqua, we have many abandoned structures, and cutting red tape, because they're not abandoned because somebody wants them, that because the townships want them that way, it often is that they can't do anything for them or to them because of red tape. We need to cut out some of the legislation and make it easier for the townships to do something with those buildings before they become too dilapidated to do anything. Once that's accomplished, then we can give them to programs like a five-year, you have this as your primary residence, recoup the house and live in it. That's one way. Another way is utilizing our empty buildings and refurbishing them. So there are many ideas that I have in regard to that. As far as new ideas or buildings, then, that similar vein, we need to help the people.
Thank you. Now let's talk about schools. The Pennsylvania Constitution requires the state to provide 50% of money needed to run our schools. And while the state has increased funding for schools quite a bit this year, it's still way below 50%, which then shifts the burden to local property taxes. How would you like to address this taxing issue?
It certainly shouldn't be falling on the taxpayer. Enough falls on the taxpayer. I realize at the state level, it comes down to what the taxpayers are paying into the state. However, the state needs to pick up the bill that they're responsible for. And there are ways we can help the state pick up that bill by, again, going back to getting rid of taxpayers paying that over $3 billion to fossil fuel industry. Or, better yet, cut the, get rid of the Delaware tax loophole that allows all the large industries to avoid paying their fair share in our state. There are so many ways we can recoup enough money to give to our schools and services without putting an additional burden on the taxpayer. But up until now, it hasn't been done, and really, it's going to take a majority of people. It's not just going to take me. So that is something that I would push hard for.
Would you increase income taxes or add onto the sales tax?
No. Again, that goes back to the burden of the taxpayers. There is enough money in Pennsylvania if we just go and collect it from the right places.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Assault weapons or large capacity magazines are used often in public mass shootings. Nearly 14 times as many people are injured and twice as many people are killed. Our neighboring states, New York, New Jersey, and Maryland, all have assault weapon bans. Would you support an assault weapon ban for Pennsylvania? And then why or why not?
Yes, I would support it. there's just no need for assault weapons on our streets. We can look back in history when there was a full ban on assault rifles. We didn't have these mass shootings. Of course, we're going to have shootings, and I want to be clear. I'm not anti-gun. I am a gun owner, and I have a concealed weapons permit. Don't worry, I don't have a gun today. But so I am for guns. I'm not coming to take anyone's guns, but I would certainly support stopping the assault rifles because they're not necessary. If you want to use an assault rifle, the military is a great place to utilize them.
Okay, now Pennsylvania doesn't require secure weapon storage. Should we have a law that requires secure storage of weapons?
One would hope that gun owners have enough common sense to store their weapons appropriately, but as we've seen, some don't. So yes, I would be in support of making it mandatory. My weapons right now are secured. I have a home with small children, so I don't want any incidents happening, nor would I want any other person getting into a situation where that becomes an issue.
Should parents be held accountable for crimes committed by their children?
I don't have a concrete yes or no answer on that. Yes, if they are fostering the behavior, if you would. But absolutely not if it's something that the child, because parents don't know 100% of what their kids are doing, whether they think they do or not. So there's always going to be that gray area, if you will, where the parents truly may not have known and may not have contributed. And so in some cases, yes, they should be held accountable. Other cases, no. I would leave that up to the court.
Okay. Now, the Bipartisan Safer Communities Act of 2022 provides $50 million in federal grants to states with red flag warning laws. These laws allow a court to determine if a violent person may own a gun. Such laws are often used in cases of domestic abuse. Should Pennsylvania have such a law?
Yes, absolutely. And the one thing that's always quoted with the Second Amendment, I have a right to bear arms. Yes, you do, but one important part of that Second Amendment that's frequently left out is the words well-regulated. So just like a car, we just don't let everyone drive a car. There's a process for you to get licensed and become hopefully a safe driver and utilize that. Same should be in place for guns.
Okay. Let's go to agriculture. Pennsylvania and Berks County are 50% agricultural. Pennsylvania has been spared the massive destruction of wildfires, but we do have floods, droughts, and destructive storms. Should Pennsylvania do more to protect our economy by doing more to prevent climate change? And what actions do you think the legislature should or should not take?
I believe we owe it to our children and thereafter to take care of our earth. And our farmers too. They're putting the food on our tables. So we need to do it in a way that it doesn't negatively impact the farmers because we need them. And so in order to do that, we need to transition from the harmful fossil fuels that we're currently using to a greener form of energy. And I'm not saying tomorrow we're cutting everything off fossil fuel. We need to transition, and there is a plan for transitioning, and it needs to be implemented or continue to be implemented. So yes, I am for fostering a cleaner environment through sustainable energy sources.
Okay. Now, most Pennsylvania House and Senate seats are won in the spring primary when Democrats and Republicans choose their candidates. One reason is gerrymandering, which creates voting districts where one party always wins. After each U.S. Census, House and Senate leaders behind closed doors draw new voting districts, rewarding friends, making it harder for enemies. House Bill 1776 and Senate Bill 1076 would amend the Constitution so a transparent, independent citizen commission draws the lines. States with this system say candidates from major parties are more moderate and better able to work together. Would you vote to create an independent citizen commission to draw legislative districts after the next census?
Absolutely. I think gerrymandering is a dangerous way and needs to be eliminated. And I would think anyone from both parties or even independents would be for cleaning up the current situation we have.
Okay. Another reason seats are won in the primary is closed primaries. Pennsylvania is one of 9 states where one must be registered as a Democrat or a Republican to vote in the primary. And this leaves out 1.2 million Pennsylvania voters. Other open primaries produce more moderate or centrist candidates who pass more bipartisan legislation. Should Pennsylvania change how we run our primary elections? And why do you feel that way?
Yes, I am for open primaries. And the reason I feel that way is simple. Everyone's voice through their vote needs to be heard, not just during a general election. It needs to be heard any time they go to vote. That's the basis of our whole democracy. Your vote counts. Your vote matters. Well, if we're not allowing all votes to count and matter on our primaries, then that kind of signals that we're not running our democracy the way it was intended.
Now, bipartisanship and compromise at the State House are rare. There are few accomplishments even when the majority agree on an issue, because maybe a chairman doesn't allow the bill to come up. How would you increase and improve bipartisanship?
Listening. A lot of times we don't bother to listen to understand that there's more on the table that we can agree with than disagree on. So it would be key to listen to every side and not get bogged down in the ending acronym of our titles, like, oh, you're a Democrat, you're a Republican, we're independent, so therefore we're on opposite sides. Truth is, we're not on opposite sides. The truth is we're on the same side, and we need to get things done that best helps the most amount of people that it can. Never going to make 100% of the people happy, but we can try to get to the majority of the people. And it starts with listening. So I would be, when I win, I will be open to listening to everyone's input to come up with what is best for the constituents, because that is who matters, and that is who I would be serving, not corporations.
Thank you. Now we're coming to the end of our program, so in 1 minute, how about a closing statement? What would you like to tell our viewers?
I am for democracy, I am for the people, and I am for putting money back in Pennsylvanians' pockets by going after companies that are not paying their fair share. And with that money recouped, we could give back to our communities. For example, and I know I've said it, I sound like a repeat, but what we have right now, we have a fuel executive in our House seat. So we essentially have the fox in the hen house. We need to vote where we are going to be best served. And my promise is that I will serve all constituents when you elect me, and I will not put my loyalties to large corporations in front of yours, because you are what matters, not the rest of them.
Thank you so much, Ms. Burns, for sharing your views with us. Viewers, please remember there's another candidate in the 24th District, Jamie Barton. Mr. Barton had not scheduled an interview when we taped this. To check your voting status, go to votepa.gov. You can register, change your party, locate your polling place, or apply for an absentee or mail-in ballot. The deadline to register is October 21, and the deadline to apply for a mail-in ballot is October 29. Then check the League's online voter guide, vote411.org, to confirm your new voting district and get more information on the candidates. Or contact Berks County Election Services, elections@countyofberks.com, or dial them up at 610-478-6490. And thank you for watching Candidates Up Front. I'm Renee Dietrich. Good day.